Previously on What If Ash Started in Johto? I'm kidding, I've been watching too much Dragon Ball Z lately. We found our heroes at a stalemate in between each other and a wild Fearow. Silver, a young girl from Team Rocket named Jessie, and our backwards cat protagonist Ash Ketchum all threw Pokeballs in an attempt to capture this powerful Fearow. Which one of these three individuals will catch it? Find out today. As the three Pokeballs are thrown, Fearow realizes they are coming at her. With very keen perception and agile reflexes, Fearow is able to dodge all three Pokeballs with ease and begins to taunt all of them. This angers Jessie majorly, causing her to throw another Pokeball. Except this time, out came a certain snake-like Pokemon with purple coloration. Jessie had brought out her Ekans in an attempt to battle Fearow. Fearow scoffs at Ekans and dodges the Poison Sting barrage launched at it. With very pristine and aerial acrobatics, Fearow was able to come in and land a solid direct peck, knocking out Ekans in one hit. Jessie, shocked by this, calls to her partner James to help out. James, shocked by Fearow's power, but also ecstatic at the same time, states, "This'll be a fantastic Pokemon for the boss. Go Coughing!" Upon exiting the Pokeball, Coughing immediately gets knocked back as well. Meowth then states, "It's too strong, run away!" As Team Rocket scurries off, the flock of Spearow begin chasing after them. As Fearow begins to make its ascent, it hears two shouts simultaneously screaming, "Wait!" Fearow, curious by these calls, looks back and notices two very determined trainers who still want to capture it. Silver looks at Ash and says, "Beat it, punk. This Fearow is mine." Ash retorts back and says, "I found it first." As they glare at each other, Chris walks in the middle with a sigh and says, "Why don't you guys just battle with it? Whichever one of you wins against Fearow gets to capture it." Silver immediately ignores her and brings out a Pokeball from his right side. Once thrown, a Totodile emerges from its ball. Ash and Chris begin to wonder how he obtained a Totodile, but don't really think anything of it due to the interest in Fearow. Silver orders Totodile to go for a water gun. Fearow bats it away with a single wing and begins to laugh at Totodile. Silver, enraged by this, orders Totodile to charge in with a flurry of scratch attacks. Fearow dodges all of them easily and just smacks Totodile back with a single swing of her wing. Totodile is knocked out with ease, and Silver returns it immediately with the comment of, "Pathetic Pokemon." Ash, being a Pokemon lover his entire life, reacts to this and says, "Your Totodile worked hard for you in that battle. You don't need to be mean to it." Silver completely turns his back to Ash and says, "Mind your own business," and begins walking to the nearest Pokemon Center. Fearow yawns and once again attempts to take off, but not before Ash throws out his Pokeball. Out from his Pokeball, a little yawning Cyndaquil emerges. Ash says, "You ready for our first battle, Cyndaquil?" Cyndaquil smiles at Ash and agrees. Right off the bat, Ash orders to open up with a quick attack. Now, some of you may be scratching your heads and asking, wait, Ash is battling this early in his journey? What happened to Dum Dum Ash? Well, having Chris for a neighbor made Ash less of a dum-dum. She's actually a pretty smart girl, and her and Ash learned a couple of tricks before taking off on their journey. Cyndaquil immediately leaps off though and attempts to hit Fearow. Fearow just flies up and simply dodges it while laughing at Cyndaquil on the ground. While Fearow is laughing, Cyndaquil pulls off an Ember attack and actually manages to graze Fearow's wing attack. Fearow, hit by it, with a small chance of it happening, gets burned. As Fearow gets weaker, it attempts to fly away and actually manages to get away from Ash and Cyndaquil. Ash and crew look around for Fearow, but are unable to find it due to Fearow being able to maintain a pretty good distance ahead. Eventually though, Fearow's damage from the burn starts to add up, and it falls from the sky. Ash sees her drop to the ground, and his immediate thought is to capture it, and somehow find a place to nurse it back to health. Ash remembered though that there was a Pokemon Center in Cherry Grove City. After attempting throwing a Pokeball though, using the last of its energy, Fearow smacks the ball down while also falling again while attempting to get up. At that point, Ash is worried about Fearow and states, "Alright, if you're gonna be that stubborn, I'll just carry you back to the Pokemon Center." Chris sees Ash attempt to lift up Fearow and thinks to herself, "What a day." As she goes over to help him lift Fearow up. After a bit of walking and struggling, Ash, Chris, and Fearow make it to Cherry Grove City, and are immediately approached by Officer Jenny. Apparently, she needed Ash and Chris's IDs. Ash and Chris begin to panic a bit as they didn't know they needed any sort of ID. However, Officer Jenny sees a Pokedex in Ash's front pocket sticking out, and says, "Oh, that's your ID." Ash and Chris both whip out their Pokedexes, and it confirmed their identities to her. What's funny is that Jenny totally didn't notice the injured Fearow they were carrying. That just goes to show how useless the police are in the Pokemon universe. The 10-year-olds are the real heroes here. Jenny finally notices Fearow though, and says, "Oh no, that Fearow looks like it's in bad shape," and proceeds to finally give them directions to the Pokemon Center. Ash and Chris, still worried about Fearow, begin to think they won't make it in time. But luckily, Jenny offers them a ride to the Pokemon Center, and yes, her bike does have enough room for all of them, because this is my plot. Once they get to the Pokemon Center, Ash and Chris get inside as quickly as they can. Nurse Joy immediately sees Fearow and orders Chansey to get it to the ER stat. Joy then lectures Ash and Chris for letting it get like this, but then understands that they are rookie trainers and lets them know she is 100% sure Fearow will be fine. It just needed to rest. Joy then goes into the ER to nurse Fearow back to health, as Ash and Chris both head into the waiting room. As they are about to walk in, Ash realizes his Cyndaquil was also a little injured, so he finds Joy to take care of his Cyndaquil as well, and Chris also does the same with her Chikorita. Right as they walked into the waiting room, however, a certain red-haired individual is sitting down, waiting for his Totodile to recover still. Yet to make eye contact, Ash and Chris happen to sit right across from him, and once they sit, the eyes meet. Ash and Silver look at each other with a bit of anger in their eyes, and both say at the same time, "Not you again." Silver then states, "What are you doing here, loser?" Ash says, "Well, I caught Fearow, and I brought it here because it's injured." Chris pulls his ear and says, "No you didn't, you dope. It got injured from a burn and we were waiting for it to recover." She then asks what Silver is doing. Respecting Chris a little more, he says, "I'm waiting for my Totodile to recover so I can get out of here and ditch you losers." Ash gets angered by this and says, "I'm not a loser, and I'll prove it. Once my Cyndaquil recovers, I challenge you." Silver, with a cocky laugh and grin, says, "Alright, chump. I can put you in your place before I head to the Violet City gym." Ash then asks, "Gym?" Silver laughs and says, "You don't even know what a gym is?" Ash says, "Well..." and pauses for a second with a clueless expression on his face. Chris points to the sign on the wall as she sips some hot tea. Ash immediately runs over to the sign and sees the Pokemon Johto Gym Challenge, and he gets super excited for it. Silver then states, "A loser like you could never make it to the big leagues." Chris, annoyed by Silver, retorts back and says, "Didn't your Totodile lose to a Fearow?" Silver turns his head and mutters, "That was a fluke, that won't happen again." A few hours go by, and funny enough, at the same exact time, Cyndaquil and Totodile recover at the same time. Totodile received more injuries than Cyndaquil did, so that's why that was able to happen. Grabbing both their Pokeballs from Chansey, Ash looked at Silver with a rival look, and Silver reciprocates this exact expression. Ash and Silver both head to the battlefield at the Pokemon Center and send both their Pokemon out at the same time. Right from the start, they order their Pokemon to use Water Gun and Ember simultaneously, and from there, the attacks get closer and closer to each other, about to make contact. And because I'm a suspense freak, that's where this segment of this month's What If takes a halt. Next time on What If Ash Started in Johto, we find out what happens after these two attacks collide. Who will win the match between Ash and Silver? Do you think Ash will, because he's Ash? Or do you think Silver will, due to the type advantage? Let me know down below. Until then though, keep guessing my viewers, because this battle is about to get steamy. Hey, welcome to my new outro. A big thank you to everyone for watching the video. I want to give a huge thanks to my phenomenal team, and for the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too. It really helps us out. I have a brand new TikTok for MysticUmbreon, and I've got a goal to get 10K followers over there. If we can hit that goal, I'm going to pick a random video suggested to me by you guys and do it. So go over there and leave a follow. Also, over on MysticSage, we've still got 2 videos going up every weekend. We've got content from My Hero, to Demon Slayer, to Dragon Ball. So come and check it out. And also check out MysticSage on TikTok. Finally, I've got an Amazon store where I sell tons of cool stuff. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm MysticUmbreon, and I'll see you next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.